The deck that I'll be showing you today was initially released with only 1,000 copies, and since then there's a whole bunch of people have been waiting for it to be released in the version I'll be showing you today. And I'm gonna tell you, over how many months now running this channel, this is probably one of the best indie to mass market releases that I have seen. Hey, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Jay, and this is Lunar Tarot, where I bring you weekly deck reviews to inspire readings with the help of Dr. Kotnik here. Dr. Kotnik. The deck, the Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot, was released by Blue Angel, Australian publisher known for its quality, and it's a work of Cameron Avalon. It mixes pagan and earthy stories and characters together with some well-known characters from around the world, with the artwork and the cardstock that just unmatched so far. Let's have a look at this right now. So it comes in beautiful waxy finish box. There's a couple of examples cards on the back, and this is basically a deck based on myth and mysticism. In the box, a message for us there, and we have a beautiful guidebook. Most certainly will be part of the decks with the best guidebooks video that I'll be publishing at some point. It's full color and it goes really deep into each one of these cards. We'll do one card pull at the end. You'll get a chance to see the book in more detail, and in the box we have the actual cards. Now, speaking of cards, there's no gilding, and to be honest, gilding in some cases looks like a bit of a gimmick, and I'm glad they didn't go for this one. The cards themselves surprisingly light, but they are not of thin or flimsy quality. And we'll do a shuffle test as well when I do one card pull. If you watch my channel, you know that this is normally when I really put the deck to the test. So the artwork, it looks to me like it's using a paintbrush and a water-based paint. There's no border, but on the back of it, there's these two feathers, and there's also a card that uses one of the symbols. So when I found it, it looks really cool when you see both the front and the reverse side of it on that card. And what you see on the cards themselves is a name of a card, Queen of Wands, or would be a major arcana name of a card, but then it's got a character, sometimes mythical, sometimes a real person, which I found quite interesting, because this is probably one of the most unusual takes on storytelling weaved together with the Fool's Journey, and it's done beautifully well. Now we also see that each suit, we're looking at the minor right now, will have a different background in the back. Like this is with Steel and Cups, it's more of emotional. Swords have the blue background representing the steel and the metal, more logical and communication, I guess, more of an air flavor to it. And wands will have more passionate sort of sky behind, and pentacles are more yellowish. If you want to see all the cards, there is a flip through at the end of the video. Now, the cards, as I mentioned, they're quite flexible, but they're not flimsy, and they got this waxy matte coating, which I really, really like. It gives this deck this feel that it's gonna last even if you use as your daily read. So the artwork and symbolism is very earthy, but not in a dark way like some pagan style decks will do. This is really up my alley here, because I quite like how cheerful and full of life this deck is. Aces here deserve a special recognition. You'll see a couple of them, but they look pretty much like this. Now, starting with our Fool, so it's a mythical character here, and you'll see a couple of trees in this deck when you look at the flip through, but it's not in a way that the author just kept repeating, the artist kept repeating, drawing the same card because they've run out of ideas. They are quite cohesive. It's almost like a family of trees representing different members of a family. This one here has got a star or a starry sky in the middle. It looks like a portal into another universe. And I think the actual Fool is over here, about to fly into this universe, which is alive and represents this tree. What a beautiful analogy. Lover's card, I quite like it. It's almost like a cauldron with some magical elements coming out of it, and then you've got this mix of the universe, the more of a spiritual connection with something more mortal and material. This is an extra hard card, bruja, and you know, for me, a bruja in Spanish means a witch. It doesn't have a number, it's just an extra addition. The Death, I think one of the best ones I have seen. Quite like it. It's sort of dissolution. It's exactly what it means, but then the feet are still rooted to the earth here. So almost like it's a rebirth. And these little dots here, they actually are almost like birds flying away with the body dissipating. This is the Tower. It's another beautiful card, and you can see our friend Fool is flying around there, but only now the tree is sort of coming apart here. But of course, it's not going to be destroyed because there's a universe in the middle, and this is just another cycle, more than anything. Now, this is the card I was telling you about, the Ace of Swords. Look at that. When I flipped it, I realized there's two of them on the back, and I think it's just a beautiful way of using this image. And nowhere near it feels that it's done because the artist didn't want to write anything else, create another card, or lack imagination, because this seemed to be working really well, especially when you flip them. I was genuinely amazed when I saw it first time, and I said, yeah, all aces here, just beautiful. This is Seven of Pentacles, Oakley. Now, the characters here don't come from the same universe or from the same culture, from the same era. They are just representation of a person or the meaning of minor arcana or major arcana. In this case, it's Oakley, and Seven of Pentacles represents here collecting the harvest. I guess it's here. This is pretty much similar thing, only with mushrooms. We've got the Earthflesh, and in this deck, the Earthflesh is the name of the book that comes with it. Interestingly enough, and this is Ten of Swords. I always like to pull Ten of Swords, as you know, because it shows you how brutal or not the deck is. Here is pretty full on, I would say, though I don't get the sense of this grim or something a bit more darker side of decks. It doesn't feel like that here. It really feels like holding a novel in your hand or watching a movie with different scenes in it. This is Ten of Cups, and if I didn't know that was Ten of Cups, I would think that was an ace actually, but quite like it though. It's elegant in what it shows here, and the name of it is a Lunar Cup. Very different take though. You really have to use your imagination to see the union of a family or celebration of something emotional, but in a way it does represent that, having the cup that is full and it's got this energy emanating from it. Let me show you the court cards of the cup suit, and you see how this deck represents a connection, a family unity. Even though there's trees that I was showing you, it doesn't feel like a disjoint tree. They all seem to be connected. And here as well, you can see it's almost been painted on the same canvas, the same background, the same colors, and even faces of those people look somewhat familiar. And it's a representation of different genders, different ethnicities here. With the page, we see this connection with water. And it's interesting because I would think that the page here is more of a queen here, right? Because it's water flows in. But I think this shows a discovery, just a message flowing in. Where Knight of Cups is taking an action here, the Lady of the Lake, with a sword. And the Queen of Cups, she's more comfortable. If it's a mermaid, she's more empowered, I would say, and feeling at ease around water. She's nowhere near an action. She's just confidently sitting there. And this is Poseidon, quite often used in storytelling. I'm pretty sure I saw him in the Tarot of the Divine or some other deck I reviewed recently. And yeah, this represents the master of the oceans, right? The Greek god. It's beautiful. What do you think of this one? Let me know in the comments. All right, handling and shuffle first. And I have to admit, you saw my videos, you know, every time I shuffle as a card falls out of my hands. This one doesn't do it. I was so surprised. I don't know if it has anything to do with the waxy finish here, so they're not slippery, or the fact that the cards themselves have a perfect size. They fit just right in my hands, and the thickness of them, I have no idea how they managed to do it, but it's not too thick like other decks that I reviewed recently, where you have to spread your fingers, and because of that, it just everything just turns into a mess. This one is just perfect. You peel them off with such an ease, and I don't know how they did it, but I think other publishers should take a leaf out of Blue Angel's book with this one. And this is not a sponsored video, by the way. I bought this deck myself, and I genuinely admire the quality here. Now let me show you the riffle shuffle too. I would say it's beautiful. In and out, overhand shuffle and riffle shuffle. With that, let's do one card pull for the theme of the day. See what expecting me tomorrow, and maybe you if you're watching this video. And we got a Page of Pentacles. I assume in this situation here, because somehow I went straight to the Page of Cups just because of resemblance. I want to say that this guy seems to be more of the Page of Cups, though there is one difference here. He sits on this green plumage or something resembling plants, and there's a tree behind him representing the whole idea of earthy material side of Pentacles suit. So I'm wondering what that's going to look like in our book, and whether I was completely off my mark finding some resemblance for Four of Cups, or was I intuitively picking something that we're going to find in the book. Let's have a look. Now, the book. So I love how it has other meanings of tarot in here, and talks about the description. So the Bonestone is the deck, as it says here, and the book is the Earthflesh. So what that's the name. You've got connection here between astrological signs and tarot. Also the planets, which I think is a really nice touch. It also covers numerology as well, and give you a little bit of education on how to use numerology in reading tarot, but also how to get your numbers and things like that, and how to prepare yourself for reading a deck. So this is a pretty solid book. I want to say it's like 383 pages. And it's got examples of the spreads, but here you got the authors. This is Avalon and Anna. So Anna is the artist behind this deck that I'm sure you also are enjoying really well, pretty much like me. Let's find our hero, the Page of Pentacles. All right, he's a hero here, Dionysus, and I was right. Guided by spirited diligence, the wise balance labor with leisure. Threading a path through life that is both pragmatic and indulgent, respectful yet free-spirited. That's basically my motto in life. Guys, I was completely off mark with this one. I thought this is going to be connection with some emotional side of things, but really here it's talking about being pragmatic and being connected to Earth, which I was mentioning the guy sitting on the soil there next to the tree. And grounded Page represents a pragmatic individual, a steady and helpful hand. He never shies away from hard work and is often the first person called upon to start a project. His deliberate nature and practical approach in no situation breathes an air of quiet confidence. With a healthy love of knowledge, he constantly gains insights from life and never sees himself as an expert. This keeps him grounded and humble. People who embody this archetype tend to attract and have warm and nurturing personalities. They genuinely listen to the others when others speak, focusing their full attention on the conversation at hand, making others feel genuinely heard, is a natural part of their energy, so they often make excellent friends and confidants. This is a wonderful deck for beginners and experienced readers, just because how the information is presented different take on RWS, quite unique in that. It gives you an ability to explore stories from around the world in very cohesive fashion. And if you saw my review of the Tarot of the Divine, this deck won't send you around trying to find the stories, because you can find the meaning in these cards intuitively, like I just did, though wrongly, but it's easy to do so. There's no question about trying to figure out what the person is doing there. There's a lot of emotional connection. So I would say easy for beginners with the book, interesting to explore stories for advanced readers. If you like the pagan or earthy colors and bit of a cheerful take on tarot, this is definitely one of the decks out there. If you want to explore some stories in a way that doesn't force you to do a Google search every time you find a card, it's definitely one of those decks. So with all of this, I'm going to give this deck 4.5 stars. Yeah, I know it's frustrating. I know that I nitpicking on things like cohesiveness of the stories. This is the only reason why I'm taking half of a star, and Dr. Kotnik is really upset with me, but he's awake. That's the most important thing. Because the stories are pieced together from different places, it took me a little bit to figure out that I'm not looking at the same folklore, right? So because you got different characters pulled together, it can be a little bit, I don't want to say jarring, but it pulls you out of intuitive reading. But other than that, I think it's one of the best decks out there. And if you love the artwork, the cardstock and packaging alone makes this deck is a wonderful addition to your collection, and maybe even a daily reader. So what do you think of this deck? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you going to get one? Let me know in the comments. I would love to find out what you think of this. And this is it for today. Please don't forget to subscribe, enjoy the flip through, and I will see you in the next one. Look, we agreed. We're not going to fall asleep during the recordings anymore. I've done it a couple of times. You've done it a couple of times, but